This is a quick review of multiplying fractions, and I'm going to talk about cross-canceling or cross-reducing. Now, the cool thing about multiplying fractions is that you do not need a common denominator. The only time you need a common denominator is when you are adding and subtracting fractions. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. The first one is negative 10/21 times 7/15. Now I know that I'm multiplying these two things together because they're in parentheses, and two parentheses next to each other means multiplication. So another way, like if the parentheses are confusing to you, you can rewrite the problem. Notice the first fraction is negative 21st. Pop that negative sign onto the top number so that you don't forget about it, times 7/15. Now you don't have to rewrite the problem, but sometimes it looks a little bit nicer, okay? Now, you can just multiply the tops and the bottoms and reduce your fraction from there. However, I don't want to do 21 times 15. I don't have a calculator, and I don't want you to be using calculators right now either. So instead of multiplying the tops and the bottoms together, let's see if I can reduce anything first. So you can reduce a fraction straight up and down, or if you're multiplying two fractions together, you can actually reduce diagonally, okay? That only works with multiplication. So now if you look here, none of these can be reduced straight up and down, but diagonally they can, right? If you think about it, 10 and 15, 10 and 15 are both divisible by 5. So I can divide that top number by 5. I'm going to cross it out and call that now a 2. And don't forget there's a negative on there, so there's negative 2. And then you divide the 15 by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So now if you think about that, negative 10 over 15 would reduce to negative 2/3. So what we did is we just reduced diagonally. We can do the same thing here. 7 and 21. Well, 7 and 21 are both divisible by 7. So we can divide 7 by 7, which gives me 1, and then 21 divided by 7 gives me 3. So basically, all I have to do now is multiply the top numbers, which are negative 2 and 1, and the bottom numbers are 3 and 3. And you just multiply the tops and the bottoms. That gives you the correct answer. So negative 1 times 2 is negative 2, and 3 times 3 is 9. So my answer is negative 2/9. Reminder, you can write the negative sign right outside in the front. Both are correct. Avoid putting the negative sign in your denominator. So let's take a look at the next one. The next one, 2/3 times 5 3/4. The first thing I have to do is change 5 3/4 into an improper fraction. So I'm going to do 4 times 5 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. So it's going to give me 23 over 4. So what I have is 2/3 times 23 over 4. Now from here, I can multiply straight across and then reduce, but I want you to practice cross-canceling. So looking diagonally, 2 and 4, both 2 and 4 are divisible by 2. So I can cross that out to give me 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now looking at the other way, 3 and 23, both 3 and 23 are prime numbers, and nothing goes into either one of these. So we can't cross cancel here. So those numbers just stay the same. So then we multiply straight across. 1 times 23 is 23. And 3 times 2 is 6. So you get 23 over 6. Now in algebra, it is okay with me if you leave your answer as an improper fraction as long as it is fully reduced. However, if you want to change it back to a mixed number, that's going to give you 3 and 5/6. And I got that by thinking to myself, how many times does 6 go into 23? Well, it goes in 3 times, leaving me with 18. And then I'm like, okay, well, if there's 18, take away 18 from 23 to get the 5, and you get 3 and 5/6. However, you can always leave your answer as an improper fraction. I will explain why later.